Hello everyone, my name is Zizi, and in this video I want to talk about the stats and aspects we need for our build, the Lash Sorcerer, and show you the gear I had when soloing the capstone dungeon at level 64 to get access to World Tier 4. Lash is a cast on crit build, where we proc ball lightnings, we are lucky hits on crit. Lash does some nice damage, but our main damage comes from ball lightning. As you can see here, the ball lightning enchantment is lucky hit. Crit strikes have up to 25% chance to spawn a static ball lightning. We take meteor as a second enchantment to make our enemies burn, so we take advantage to all the enemies are burning increases and defenses, and also to get some extra bonuses that Aspect of Control gives us. Aspect of Control is this: you deal 31% more damage to immobilize, stunned, or frozen target. We apply Frozen with Frost Nova, Stun with our Arc Lash, Immobilize with Meteor now. Now that we understand what our build is, we know what the most important stats are for us. And they are attack speed, crit strike chance, crit strike damage with lightning, and lucky hit chance. These are the stats we want, like the offensive stats we want on most of our gear. As you can see, now at level 64 when I soloed the dungeon, I had 31% crit strike chance, 114 crit strike damage, and on top of that 43% crit strike damage with lightning, some nice increases with vulnerable damage. We apply a lot of vulnerable with Frost Nova. It is not up all the time, but it's up a lot of the times. We have some nice 30% increased damage, more damage versus crowd controlled, like all those CCs are crowd controlled, more damage versus burning, 30%. Damage while healthy, we are healthy most of the times, right? Because we use barriers and can just use a pot whenever we go low. As defenses, most important ones is armor. We have 4.2k armor, and we need damage reduction. Now my old damage reduction is kind of low, but I have a good damage reduction from close enemies and a good damage reduction from burning enemies. So these are the general stats. Now to go into our gear and show you guys what I have on my pieces. It's not best in slot by far, but it's a really good showcase of what I could get by the time I wanted to advance into World Tier 4. My wand. Now, as a tip, to get more item power, you will need sacred items, like the sacred rare items that are past level 700. If we upgrade them 5 times, they will get past level 725, and that is a breakpoint where the skills on your items get popped up by 1 tier. This means that this one, in compared to this one over here, has a bit higher stats. This was my old one. I replaced it, even though this one has like better stats for my build. This one has more damage per second. It has a higher item power and a bit more numbers, on stats we need, like crit strike damage over there. Okay, so what do we want on our gear? On our weapons, we want a high DPS. So that means we want the highest item power possible. We want crit strike damage. We want lightning crit strike damage. We want vulnerable damage, intelligence, damage to close enemies. Those are increases. As an aspect, I've chosen this one over here, where you have more crit strike chance against injured enemies to help finish off bosses faster. And while you're healthy, you also gain increased ground control duration, so that we get even more damage out of aspect of control over here. On my focus, I want cooldown reduction. That's the most important stat over here. We want a high damage per second, so we want our focus over here to have a high item power. We want basic skill attack speed. We want crit strike chance. We want lucky hit chance. Lucky hit while barrier also works. For our boots, well, I got my best in slot unique already, but this is only a sacred one. We're still gonna need the higher level one. The Asus Heirloom, and we want it because it gives us crit strike chance. The aspect, as you can see, your crit strike chance is increased by 21% of your movement speed bonus. This gives a nice chunk of crit strike for us. Like a lot of the other stats are not that important. Besides the movement speed, we love that movement speed. So yeah, these were my old boots. They had movement speed and a bunch of defensive defensive ranks to our skills that we used, like all of them. I was getting 5 ranks in total from these boots, but it was a no-brainer to drop them for Asus Heirlooms just because of the crit strike chance, and we are a custom crit build. As helm over here, well, our best in slot is Harlequin Crest, but I don't know when and who will get that, so we're gonna move to a legendary one, where the best stats are cooldown reduction, basic skill attack speed, which I have, but they're very low. They're very low tiers because my helm is only, as you see, 599. I'm gonna need to replace it. Then we have lucky hit chance while barrier. We can get life on it, intelligence. Yeah, a lot of good stats. As my chest, the best in slot chest will be Raiment of the Infinite, but since I don't have that, we have another legendary. With the best stats are damage reduction from closed enemies, damage reduction. Yeah, I should need like intelligence over here, maybe damage to stunned enemies. My chest is kind of bad, so these two will be the first 2 items I'm gonna replace. The gloves, though, on the other hand, are pretty amazing. They have a lot of the best stats we need. I think like 4 of all of them. We have lucky hit chance, crit strike chance, attack speed, and lightning strike damage. So these gloves will be kind of hard to beat. The only bad part about them is the imprinted, like the aspect is kind of low. Now if you think we don't use core skills, well, you are right, but we proc them during unstable current. So whenever we are actually hitting unstable current, we are going even more crazy because we have that aspect on the gloves. On pants, this is the best aspect, where you gain armor when you deal any damage, stacking up to 40%. That's an insane defensive aspect. And the stats, we want damage reduction over here. We want ranks to ball lightning. That's really big. And then damage reduction from burning enemies, like normal damage reduction from close enemies, armor, more armor, life, stuff like that. Another tip, if you don't have sockets on your gear, don't forget that you can go to the jewelry guy and add sockets with him. It costs very little and it's kind of an okay power upgrade to do, so don't forget to do that. We talked about the boots. On Amulet, we want cooldown reduction, we want +1 ranks to defensive skills, and we want some things I don't have, like movement speed, and ranks to Devouring Blaze for even more damage. Now I have damage reduction from close enemies here, which is great. And over here we have the basic skill grant damage reduction for 9 seconds. That helps a lot defensively, but the best aspect for my amulet is gonna be the control one. So whenever I'm gonna change my amulet, I'm gonna put control aspect over there because it gives more numbers. Like the aspect on the amulet have 50% extra power than a regular aspect. For rings, we want crit strike chance, crit strike damage, lightning crit strike damage, vulnerable damage, lucky hit chance, stuff like that. As you can see, both of my rings are pretty good. That's why I upgraded them to 4 and 5. This is the same with the sockets. You can add them at the jewelry guy and put in some skulls for some extra armor. And yeah, that's about it. Now I tried at level 60, but I still had some missing pieces. I tried my capstone dungeon and I couldn't do it. I couldn't kill the last boss. Like, all the trash was easy, but I couldn't kill the last boss. So I went out and got some more levels and got some upgrades. Got like 2 or 3 upgrades. Went back the next day and beat the dungeon easily. That's what this means. You know that gear is important, and having the correct stats is kind of very important. Also, don't forget your consumables. Get resistances, get attack speed ones, like attack speed elixirs. They're very good. Alright. Hopefully, you guys will get a better understanding about the build now. And hopefully, this will help you gear your character and enjoy your Lash Sorcerer build. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. You can always come by, as I said before, to twitch.tv/ZzGames. We can have a chat. I can help you with your build, make you understand it. We don't have POBs so to review them, like in Path of Exile, but we can have a chat and enjoy Diablo 4 because it was a really nice game. Thanks again. Bye bye.